Hi guys, welcome to this video. It's about the cost of scalp micropigmentation. And if you're not aware of what scalp micropigmentation is, it's a treatment that is like a tattoo and it reproduces a hair follicle, the look of a hair follicle, and gives you a shaved look instead of just a bald look. As I've got here, I get plenty of comments on my videos saying, you need SMP, all this sort of stuff. Well, I've actually had SMP through the middle area here. I had it 5 years ago. I had 2 sessions. I had it nice and light. I'm okay with that. I do not particularly want a lower hairline. I do not particularly want it any darker on top. So that's how I feel, and that's okay. So anyone out there who's thinking of getting treatment, just know that you don't have to have it like jet black and down in front of your eyes. Okay, you can have it done however you want, and the most natural, subtle way is the best. Anyway, let's get on with the video. So let's talk about the cost of SMP and what you can expect. So it was a bit difficult for me to try and work out how best to talk about this, because as you can probably imagine, the cost of SMP, like everything in SMP, you ask a question, you'll get so many variable answers. And that's not because people are lying or trying to pull the wool over your eyes or anything like that. It's just because there's so much individual kind of thing at stake. You know, everyone's head is different. They're all, when it comes to cost, like you've got different size heads, you've got different areas that you're working on, high, low, as I'm sure many of you have been researching this kind of thing. You would have seen the Norton scale, as we call it, and you're dealing with just a little bit more, or you're dealing with a whole scalp. We've got guys who are coming for scar work, and it's just endless. So to give one straight answer is impossible. But what I thought I would do to start with is ask ChatGPT what he thought. And on there, it's quite a good rundown actually, and I'll go into further detail afterwards. But it says the factors affecting cost. 1, the extent of hair loss. The more coverage needed, the higher the cost. So yeah, that would make sense, right? At Creative Scalps, we don't really work it out like that. We just assume we're going to give a client a session, right? So what we do is we have a session in the morning and a session in the afternoon, and we'll only work on 2 clients in that day. So the price is pretty much set to cover that session. So if you're just having a little bit, then you're going to pay the same as someone who's having quite a lot. Now the difference is, if you're just having a little bit, maybe 2 sessions will be enough for you. If you're having more, maybe you're going to need 3 sessions. Okay, so if you've got a full head scalp, maybe you're going to need 4 sessions. So yes, in effect, the smaller area is going to be cheaper, but per session is going to be the same. And the same with a full head of SMP. By session, it's going to cost the same, but you're probably going to need an extra session. So that's how we work it out. So then we're able to give each and every client full due care and consideration in the time allotted. And we're not trying to do little small jobs and, you know, we've got to rush them because we need to get the next one in. Okay, so that's how we work here. Okay, next on ChatGPT, it says number of sessions. Usually 2 to 4 sessions are required for the best results. So that goes back to what I was just saying. Okay, that's where it's variable. Okay, so you can get a set price, but then maybe your sessions are going to vary. So we will quote people on, let's for instance say your whole of your top of the head is missing and you need a treatment with us, with one of our pro artists in the year 2025. It's going to cost you 3,300. We believe it will take 3 sessions. We'll take £300 as a deposit, booking fee. No, you're not getting that back. That secures your appointments. After that, you're left with 3,000 balance. You will now split that over the 3 sessions. Pay £1,000 each time you come. If you have the 3 sessions and it still looks like you might need one more, we will do one more session for you. We want you to be happy and complete. If you needed another session after that, we would do that for you. We wouldn't charge any more money, okay? If you had 2 sessions and you was happy, but we had quoted you for free, we wouldn't force you to come back for the third. We would say, that's brilliant. So you like it quite light and subtle. That's great. We just want you happy. You can put that third session onto pause. Okay. If 6 to 8 months later, you then decide, actually, I do want that third session to get a little more darker look through there, then yeah, come back. We'll do your third session then. Not a problem. Okay. So that's where it's variable. I hope you understand what we're trying to get at. Clinic location. Prices vary by country, city, and even neighborhood. Yes and no, right? It's another one of them, right? So the Creative Scalps clinic in the UK is based in the south of England, okay? We're just south of London. If you're in London, you should pay premium prices. That's what everyone expects. We are south of London, technically still same kind of cost, right? We just charge what we charge because we give the service that we give. We know our experience and skills are worth a certain amount. We know this because of our experience, okay, and our years of proof. We've been going since 2016, so we know how much it is worth for us to work on a client and what we can give for that. So the price location thing, like, I don't think that actually really works, because clients who come to us are not coming from, we're in a town called Crawley, West Sussex. Our clients do not come from Crawley, West Sussex. They come from California. They come from the Middle East. They come from Sweden, Norway, France, Spain. They come from all round England, like in Scotland, Ireland. They come from everywhere. So your location and price doesn't actually marry up. In ChatGPT, it also says hidden costs to consider. Now, there's not really any hidden costs, but on here it says touch-ups, usually needed every few years and can cost whatever. So, what do we do with touch-ups? This is true. SMP, to make it look totally natural and for it to last a good long time and to keep looking natural, the last thing you want is for your head to be seeping with ink and all amalgamating together. You want to keep separate fine impressions that are going to last a lifetime. So we go shallow depth of the skin. This is going to cause the ink to gradually fade over time and get lighter. This is the whole essence of SMP and what keeps it looking natural. So you are going to require touch-ups in the future. Now, how often you get touch-ups is a total variable answer again, okay? So let's just talk about the cost of the touch-up. So again, we'll go back to what I call a pro artist, okay? Because that's the most average price that we have at Creative Scalps, right? So a pro artist, you're going to have 3 sessions with a pro artist. It's going to cost you £3,300 in the year 2025. You're going to pay £300 as your deposit booking fee. That's going to come off the price. You're now left with £3,000. That is going to be split over 3 sessions. Each time you come, you will spend £1,000. You have now completed your SMP. It's 2 years later, you want to have a touch-up. The way we work is you will get a touch-up for the cost of 50% of your original session price. Okay, so you've had your session price at £1,000. It's now 2 years later, you're going to have 50% off of that. Okay, so you're now going to pay £500 to have your touch-up, and your touch-up session will typically be a little bit quicker than your original sessions. Okay, I hope that all makes sense. This is the way we work it, and I find that it works really well. Artist experience and reputation. More skilled practitioners charge higher rates. Yes, I can agree with this. At Creative Scalps, this is what we do. Okay, we have different levels. So a bit like when you go to a hairdresser's, you can have different levels of the hairdresser. Everyone understands that, okay? I believe in SMP it should be the same. Everyone needs to know where they are who is the artist, what experience do they have, and I would like to pay accordingly. Okay, so when you go to a clinic and they tell you the price and they don't tell you who the artist is, or you think it's going to be an artist and then you turn up and then it's someone else, like that's a warning bell. That's where you just want to run a mile. Okay, what you want is to know who is the artist, what is their skill level, and do I trust them, and do we get on, and are they going to give me their best? All right, so what we want to provide for you at Creative Scalps is transparency on this, and we've always done it like this. Okay, so we have different levels. The first level is apprentice. I started as an apprentice, albeit there was no one to show me the way, so I was learning my own way through SMP. Luckily I had the experience of 20 odd years barbering, and I had that on my side, and I was able to do my own apprenticeship. So what I did was I would work for free, build up a portfolio. When I'd built up a portfolio and a little bit of experience, I was then able to start charging. So I would make them charges quite small and incremental, and then gradually would increase the price. Then it moves on to the next level, what we call a junior artist. Okay, a junior artist would be someone who's completed a full portfolio, has done treatments on most types of hair loss scenario, but they do not yet have that full capacity of experience where they might not need to ask me for help. Okay, so a junior artist at Creative Scalps is more likely to ask me for help. Mark, what do you think about this hairline? Mark, I'm using this impression pattern. Do you think that's right? I'm going to use this shade on this client. Do you think that's right? I call that a junior artist. Okay, so it's not an apprentice. It's someone who's qualified to the level that they're okay to work on somebody. Nothing bad's going to happen. They just need a little bit of guidance to see them through. So their cost is slightly more than an apprentice. Once they've had that experience, it usually takes, we can talk in years, but that means nothing. So the next level would be what I call a pro artist. Now, you're going to need what we'd say is 5 years experience, but what you can get out in this world is someone's been doing SMP for 5 years, but how many clients have they done in that time? Their 5 years, they might have only done 2 clients, and you know your experience is going to be zilch, isn't it? Really. So we need someone who's done at least, a good barometer would be 1,000 treatments. That doesn't mean 1,000 clients. That means 1,000 treatments. Early on, when people are doing treatments as an apprentice, it might take them 4, 5, 6, 7 treatments to get it just right. Okay, so we're talking treatment time. So someone who's completed 1,000 treatments on actual real human beings, like, is actually going to have that experience necessary to become what we call as a pro artist. Now, this is someone who can stand on their own 2 feet and give anybody anything. All right, they've got total experience. If they ever needed a little bit of help or talking, because everybody needs a little bit of support, then they can come to me or they can go to somebody else, right? So that would be a pro artist. After that, the next level would be what you call, I guess, a master artist. Okay, but people can just call themselves master artists. All right, so it's a bit hard to gauge who that is. To me, I like to call it a creative director. For one, because we're creative, and for two, I'm the director. All right, so I've been doing this obviously a long time. I've got a lot of experience behind me. I've done thousands and thousands of treatments and clients, and I'd like to think that I give the best treatments possible to people. And even for me, I'm forever learning and improving and trying to do my best. Okay, so to have the creative director work on your scalp, you're now going to pay a premium. Okay, so whether that's the creative director or someone who calls himself a master artist, that is somebody who should be, without doubt, you're 100% in safe hands. You know and trust, and you've seen that they've got a proven track record of doing SMP and doing it exactly as you like it. That is what I would call a premium creative director, master artist. Okay, but you're still going to have to do your due diligence and make sure that person is exactly what they claim they are. Next on ChatGPT, it says how to find the best provider for your budget. It says research reviews before and after photos. Avoid extremely cheap deals. Low quality work can result in bad results or corrections. Ask about payment plans, as some clinics offer financing. So all of that kind of goes into what we've been talking about. Research reviews before and after photos. But that's a given anyway. Okay, you need to do that with wherever you go. Avoid extremely cheap deals. Low quality work can result in bad results or corrections. This is very true. But also, like I say, we here at Creative Scalps will offer you an apprentice, a junior, a pro artist, or a creative director. You get to choose what level you're prepared to pay for. Okay, so if we are charging a cheap price for an apprentice, there's a reason for it. And it doesn't mean you're going to get bad work, but it means that I or Sammy or somebody else is going to be looking over them to ensure that you get the best service possible. If you go to another provider and it's a cheap price, but they're claiming that they're a fully bona fide artist, then you might need to be wary. Okay, that's what I don't want to happen. I don't want any of you out there going somewhere and getting a treatment by someone that you don't fully know their skill level. I think that's bang out of order, and nothing should be done like that. Okay, so if you can't afford to have me do your treatment, that's okay. All right, go somewhere that you can afford it, but let's make sure that that person can actually provide the service for the amount of money that they're charging, because every week we see people and it just hasn't been like that. All right, so we just want to see what's best for you. Okay, so my final thoughts on the cost of scalp micropigmentation. So we've established the cost of it can be anything from zero to thousands and thousands and thousands. Okay, so personally for me in the UK, I charge a price. Sometimes I will travel, okay, to different locations. These guys will pay an even higher premium. Okay, so that's by the by. If you don't want to pay that price, you don't want to pay that price. Some people want to pay even more. So the cost of it is all relative to how much money you actually have yourself, right? So just know that the cost of SMP is anything from zero to thousands, okay? And then it's the level of the artist in between that will determine the cost that you will pay. And you have to decide what you're comfortable with paying and then adjust to what level artist you would like for that. Okay, so I hope you learned something from this video about what we at Creative Scalps give to you and in general about the cost of SMP. Thanks guys, keep watching, keep subscribing and give me some thumbs up. And if you want to be a troll and give me some lovely comments, you can do that. All right, I'm good for it. Cheers guys.